Hey, welcome back. Um, yeah, I don't know. You can read this. I'm not gonna read it. Something about Sahasrara or something. Um, I haven't really been being funny. I've never really been funny. I was just thinking about that a couple seconds ago. Especially just because I was talking about the meaninglessness stuff and I was never really making any jokes or anything. Sometimes I make jokes. But I don't know. I was thinking about Let's Plays and how it is so hard. I don't know. We judge Let's Players and they're like, oh, they're not funny and they're just whatever. But it is really hard to manufacture jokes out of nothing. And have it to not feel like it's forced or. Do you understand? I don't know. I guess. Sure, I was paying attention. It's like I'm back in school. Anthony, were you paying attention? Ooh, did I already give you a heart container? But yeah, I don't know. Like, how are you supposed to make jokes just out of playing a game? I'm always kind of judgmental of Let's Players. Like, well, they just kind of yell, and that's how they just. But like, what else are you supposed to do? Like, that's how you. That's entertaining. Something scares you, and you're like, whoa, whoa, that ghost scared me. I was thinking about. I don't know why this is coming to mind. It was a while ago, but I watched this guy. He had like, whatever, like 10 million subscribers or whatever, and he was playing Stardew Valley. I was like, okay, I've never really watched one of these people, but I'm gonna watch this guy. Like, what's he doing? That's so amazing. And it's hard to watch people like that, to just be so judgmental of like, okay, was this funny? Was this sentence funny? No. Well, then why 10 million people watching it? That's not really. It's not fair to the person to do that. Because it's just like the aura and like the feeling you get when you watch and you're like, oh, it's like a friend and I'm watching him play. That's kind of how I feel when I watch the game Grumps. But I still think they're funny. They try to make jokes and they're not like forcing it most of the time. Okay, now I don't know where to go. I think there's like he puts a number on your map. Look at this map. And you gotta go like number 1, number 2. Whatever. Oh, there. Okay. That's kind of funny. I feel like they kind of zoom in. Can you zoom out? They zoom into the map to make it feel bigger. And be like, whoa, look at this world. It's so much bigger. Well, there's this place, and there's this place, and there's this place. Oh, how do I get there? Is there like a death mountain? Oh, there's a mountain up here. Okay. Oh. I guess you can zoom out. So never mind. They're not trying to trick you. Sasrasrala. So anyway, am I interesting to watch? I don't know. It's hard to do this. So I shouldn't be so judgmental of like PewDiePie. Does he still make videos? Or is PewDiePie like one of those people who like people used to make fun of, but now he's like respected by everybody? Did he McConaughey? Did he become a McConaughey? Although McConaughey's kind of going, what's he done? What's he been doing lately? He hasn't done anything. Last thing I remember he was in was like Interstellar, and everybody's making a big deal. Oh, he's like so good now. I don't know. You're an actor for 30 years. You do the same thing. You'd hope you'd be a little bit good at it by now. Beep beep biddity beep boop boop biddity boop ba 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 da da ba bam bam ba da da ba Okay, here's a note. It's about... Whoa, what? I had kind of an interesting... Stupid cars. That was funky. That was a funky beat. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe this is a common thing, like for an American Christian to experience, but my family, kind of an interesting dynamic where we were Christians and we were very, not fundamental, but like strict, not strict, but like we were super Christian-y. We believed all the Christian stuff, went to church all the time. But like we weren't open to anything else. I mean, like spiritual wise, like we weren't open to other. We were very dismissive of, like, for example, Mormons. I remember my. What Master Sword? Well, I don't remember the details exactly, but long ago, Master Sword and Mighty Blade. So I have to get the Master Sword from the Lost Woods or something? Yes. Look for the Elder. There must be someone in the village who knows where he is. You can... Okay. I don't want to be too mean. This is going to make my family sound bad, but I couldn't remember... Like, and even still now they do this, but like they'll kind of make fun of things that other religions and spiritualities believe, and they'll be like, oh, Mormons are crazy, and they think there's aliens or whatever, or like Scientologists. They're crazy. They believe so many crazy things. Like, can you believe this thing that they believe is crazy? And part of me is like, yeah, it is crazy. And then part of me is like, wait, Christians, we believe crazy stuff. Like, we eat a guy's body and we drink his blood? That's kind of weird. If you explain that to somebody who's like a Scientologist, they'd be like, that's crazy. We don't eat people here. Jonah was in a whale for 3 days? That's crazy. So I guess that's kind of like where I get my skeptical... Like, I was watching this this ASMR person doing... And she was doing Reiki. Like, she's a super Reiki person. All of her videos are Reiki stuff. And the idea of Reiki is, I guess... Like, you have an energy... And you can make people feel better by, like, putting your hands around their auras and stuff. And if that makes you feel better, I don't want to be mean, but, like, to me, it's kind of stupid. Like, it works if you believe it, but so does, like... Anything can work if you believe it works. So just, like, I don't know. So if that's... I mean, I guess if that's going to be your thing... Oh! Why didn't I know that I could do that? As long as you're not hurting anybody. But it doesn't really work for me because I don't believe it. But it is like a pseudoscience, right? It has to be. Otherwise, doctors would be like, okay, take 3 doses of Reiki today. I'm sure there have been studies that are like, well, it doesn't really do anything. Like, we tested it against a placebo or whatever, and it doesn't really help. But then there are tests, or there are experiments where, like, well, if you believe it, then it does work. But then if you know about those experiments, then it's hard for you to take that out of your head and like, okay, I just gotta believe it and then it will work. Well, will it still work if I have that extra layer of thought on top of it? I don't think it does. They have to do an experiment like, okay, if you know about this experiment and you try to believe, does it still work? I'm not sure exactly where to go. I have to find the elder, and then he'll tell me how to get through the Lost Woods, I guess. Okay, so this was kind of a long note. My family kind of made fun of all the other spiritual, supernatural stuff like aliens or Mormons, Catholics, Eastern things. I had this watching Reiki. Alarm bells go off when I hear about Reiki stuff, like your heart chakra shows your relations to other people. Same alarms go off when I read the Old Testament. It's too anthropological. God doesn't care about your lineage. I guess there's kind of like two different notes in here. That the second part of that note was like the alarm. Oh, this guy. You have to Pegasus him. So the alarm bells that go off when I hear about the Reiki stuff, like, and this is the stuff that I got from my parents, like, they kind of taught me through example for these alarm bells to go off, like, oh, Reiki's kind of crazy, right? Because she's talking, and she really, I think she really believes this stuff. Like, you have this heart chakra that if people have weak heart chakras, then they have bad relationships with people. And if they have strong heart chakras, then they have good relationships. And your heart chakra is like an aura that's like right here. And I guess if you have someone else touch it and they're like a Reiki expert, they can strengthen it. And like you can strengthen it by doing these exercises or these mental things. Ooh, I got an empty bottle. Oh, they call it a magic bottle. They should call it a magic bottle. Because if it's like, well, there's the empty bottles right there. Why don't I just take those empty bottles? But in the newer games, they call them empty bottles. But I like magic bottle because it's like a magic thing. Why don't they keep doing that? Oh, this guy. He's got to tell me something. There's a lake swimming through the treasure. No, that's nothing. It's two. So those same alarm bells when I hear about like, oh, your heart chakra or your soul chakra. I don't want to be too dismissive of that. Because here's another note. I guess I'll end there because I don't know where to go. A lot of spiritual stuff, when you're a person like me and you don't want to be dismissive of spirituality and like heart chakras or whatever, you'll say like, oh yeah, they're just expressing, like when they say your heart chakra is your connection to other people and you want to strengthen it, like, okay, that makes sense. Like if you work on what I would say something similar is like if you work on communicating with people and like you think about it and you meditate or whatever and you try to be a better person and you focus on it, then you can get stronger relationships. That's basically just what they're saying. Oh, if you... And they just have a little extra stuff of like putting hands around you and whatever. But to me, all the spiritual stuff, I don't know how else to phrase it, but it's like it's done in bad faith, because they when those things were originally created, they did believe that those things were real. They did believe chakras were real, and like it was a aura, like it was a metaphysical part of your body that was like a real thing. So like if the basis of that is wrong, I don't know. I feel bad saying that kind of stuff, but like, if it's built on like a bad faith thing, then I don't like really, I don't know. I still want to be nice about it. Like if it's helping you, that's good, but it's not going to help me. Because that's why I struggle like with the Old Testament, because it's a little bit of it is like, okay, well, like this is kind of what Moses is saying. Like we can extrapolate and we can interpolate it. But when Moses and when all those people were writing the Old Testament, it's not really what they were thinking. They were thinking that God was a real thing, and he could turn into a fire tornado, and he was inside the ark, and nobody could touch the ark because God was literally inside there, and so it was too holy to touch. So like all the other stuff is built on top of that. So like all the stuff that's built on top of that is good stuff, like love your neighbor and help people, don't kill anybody. But it's all kind of built on a bad faith thing. It's not really the right word, but like a bad faith of like, well, the thing that they started with, that God was a real thing, and he's like an entity on earth, and like he could part seas, and he could like turn Moses' staff into a snake, and he would throw locusts at people, and he was literally inside of a box, and he just kind of hung out with the Jews because he liked them more than everybody else. Like, that's bad faith foundation to me. Like, I don't know. Jesus is a good foundation, but like that stuff, I don't like it. Anyway, I'm gonna do one more episode today. I've already done 8. Crazy. But see you tomorrow. Bye.